Well, hello out there. Uh, I said I was going to be more consistent on posting, so here I am. If you didn't know, I am called to ministry. I am a chaplain, and I am going to be more consistent. So here I am. Um, to be called is just something you got to know. You can't just say, "Hey, I'm called." Um, Many times, the people that are truly called, their fruit line up with their actions, and many times there's confirmations. You just can't wish and hope and say you're called. You gotta know that you know that you know. And I've had many events to reaffirm my calling, but it's a heavy burden. I mean, burden isn't a bad thing. Um, and part of the burden is knowing that going into ministry is that, for lack of better words, there's going to be, you can't please everybody. There's going to be a lot of haters out there. Even, especially in many cases when you're doing the right thing. It's like, oh, I'm actually doing what the word says, doing the right thing. Now these people saying I'm too deep. It doesn't take all that. And it's can it if you're in not even if you're not in the flesh, it could be a little nerve wracking. But I say that to say this. I heard a minister. He's of course way bigger than I am. Followed him for a while. He was saying something called correction ministry. He was like, only um, only lukewarm Christians get offended by the, by the ministry of correction. And I was like, as someone that who's not afraid to call out wrong when I see it, I'm unashamed of the gospel. I'm like, I thought about it. Most of the time, when I've been when I made a correction, even out of love, uh, people got offended. But and when if someone's tried to correct me, I've instantly like, wow, I started self-evaluating. So there's a grain of truth to that. However, you, I don't think uh, correcting someone should be taken lightly. And I instantly thought about the scripture Matthew 13. Uh, Many of you know Matthew 13 for the parable of the sower, but shortly after, there's a parable of the wheat and the tare. And uh, it goes, I'll paraphrase, I've been talking for a while, that a person was sleeping and the enemy came and planted tares. And when harvest time came, um, his servant noticed before harvest time, I stand corrected, they identified uh, wheat tares. When the Tree of Life translation says that it's weeds, and they wanted to remove the weeds, the tares, and the master said that no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to remove the wheat, the tares, the weeds, because in doing so, you might remove some of the wheat. And harvest time came, and he gave the command, go ahead, remove the tares, the weeds first, burn them, then remove the wheat. And that was a parable by Jesus in red. Check it out. Um, the word will separate the wheat from the tares. If preachers, ministers, if we're putting out the word, Christians, don't be afraid to point out wrong. You don't have to keep overemphasizing. Say it once. Anything else is control and manipulation. Um, but don't be stagnant in those situations, because separation will happen. Um, the word was separate. It either separate you from them or them from you. Unfortunately, it'll once that separation happens, uh, a cleansing is going to happen. Unfortunately, and if you're doing the right thing, you're going to be put in the right place. So don't. I mean, you don't even have to go looking for correction. It's going to happen. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb doing the right thing, even amongst your peers. So, sorry, not sorry. But those could be opportunities. People might say, I'm a Christian. I go to church. I'm like, but something's different about them. Why, why are we going through the same thing, but they're coming out different? Why are they happy? I'll never forget a couple times. Like I stump my toe or do things, and there's people sitting watching, and I'm like, I've trained myself to block those foul words from coming out my mouth. They're like, man, and it's like, wow, and many other examples. But I've known atheists who never cursed, who've challenged me to be like, okay, you can do it out of sheer will. I can do it out of love for God, but I digress. Um, you can't please everybody, but you please the master and follow his commandments. He'll do the separation and put you in the right place and right standing. So the scripture was Matthew 13. If you agree, disagree, comment, I read them. I respond. And let me know. Peace.